Okay. Hi everyone. Thanks for coming. Thanks for keeping your masks on. I know it's not easy. If you need to take a break, you walk over there, breathe in, and just hold the breath for like 10-20 minutes. Come back to your seats. I recognize a lot of eyes over here because I don't see anything else. It's a real honor. First of all, a big thank you to Shane Sharifia. Works tirelessly, not only from Great Neck, but even from Florida. Everyone wants to know she was in Florida on vacation, by the way, in case you missed that. With everyone else with everyone else in Great Neck. It's a big thank you. This is a big kavod for me to come once a month to do a Rosh Chodesh, which is into the new month of Shvat, which is my birthday month. Get yourself fun. And I got so much to tell you this evening. The topic we chose for this evening, which I'm very pleased to have a big crowd over here, is red flags in dating. I don't speak too often on this topic. I don't talk too much on this topic, but I should. And I started 2 weeks ago, and I realized that this is something that really needs to be cleared up. This is the time to hear it. We have one married person, but she's married well, Baruch Hashem. For the rest of us who are young, single, and dating, okay, it's not me, I'm already married, Baruch Hashem, but this is very important information. I'm going to share with you a lot. If you want, I have a handout. I can email it to you afterwards. Many people actually want to review the ideas. I am recording it, but you could save yourself a lot of trouble, a lot of time, effort, and emotional energy hearing what I have to share with you this evening. Let's start. Let's define our terms. And by the way, this is free. Stop, ask questions, okay? Don't be shy. And we always know the question's not about you. It's always a friend. Okay?
That's true.
But I'm sure most of you here, if you've been dating seriously and looking for a marriage partner, these questions have come up to you. And if not, I guarantee your friends will be dealing with this. Okay? Let's start with the idea. First, what's a red flag? A red flag is exactly this. A red flag means you're dating and things come up and you're unsure whether this thing which you're dealing with is something you should keep together or you should break up over. Okay? That's the definition of what I'm describing as a red flag. What's very important, I can't overstate this, not every red flag that comes up is something you need to break up over. Okay? It could be a personality trait which is livable. It could be this a small quirk, part of a personality. It could be something that's in your head from when you grew up with and stuff that you were dealing with and it kind of rubs you the wrong way, but it's livable. And you could have a good, fine, married life even though this thing is present. So whatever I'm going to talk about, it could be that I'm going to come up with a list of maybe 20 things, which I call my 20 red flags, or so. It grows every week. I get new stories. Just some of you may not know who I am, and that's a problem. My name is Rabbi Lawrence Hagioff. I work in a number of organizations. I'm a professor at Stern College for Women. Many of my students are here. I work for Chazak New York. And I do a lot of weddings and a lot of counseling. I would say 2 to 3 times a week. Even today, I got 2 Facebook messages of couples who are now married and dealing with stuff. You want to get this stuff early. Anytime, I've done maybe at this point, maybe 150 weddings. Most, Baruch Hashem, did not end in divorce. I guarantee to you, whenever you hear about a divorce, which I'm assuming you don't want to happen. Is that right? Yeah. No one gets married on the chuppah. Oh, I cannot wait for this wedding to last 1 year. They don't just say that. Right? They want it to last forever. But one thing I find is, when you're married, and you're madly in love, you always say, I saw it while we were dating. There was always something which led to Chas Chalila, the divorce or the challenge in the marriage. And they always say to me, I saw signs of it, I didn't take it seriously, and I kind of pushed it aside. And I didn't take it, I thought it was nothing because I was so in love. And I was so looking forward to organizing the wedding and his family and my family, and it was such a big thing. And it's a problem. Because you need to figure out beforehand, before you stand under the chuppah with all your friends, And all I'm great, Nick, all the cold bare food at the smorgasbord, right? You want to figure this stuff out before you get to that point. Am I being clear? If I'm not, please ask me. You had a wedding with me, right? Okay. Let's start with one very important thing, okay? No one marries someone perfect, except for my wife. Not even her, okay? If you're looking for perfection, at this point in your life, you're already mature, I see from your eyes, because I can't see the rest of your faces, but I can see that most people here, you understand this idea that people have faults, but marriage, hear me well, magnifies faults. It magnifies them. If a person was mean beforehand, they can be really mean when they get married. If a person was kind and giving beforehand, they become really kind and giving. What you see before is what you're going to live with the rest of your life. Those annoying little things they do, they don't go away. Oh, he'll change. No, he won't. Oh, she'll change when we get... No, she won't. They stay the same. Are people capable of changing? Yeah. But for the most part, they don't. If you be doing something I wish everyone could hear this. I really do. I'm giving you gold over here. I'm seeing a lot of heart. I wish I would have heard it. I did actually this before I got married. I did actually very much. If people could understand that whatever they grew up with becomes your future, whatever this person has is going to be with them forever. Could they change? I'm a strong believer that people, and I've seen people change. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work to turn traits around, to turn around ideas and thoughts and philosophies that your parents, most of where it comes from, download into your head. No one marries someone perfect. How perfect do they need to be in order to have a life of... By the way, I didn't even ask. Is everyone here looking to get married one day? You laugh. I've had many people say no. Okay? God willing, yeah, inshallah, B'ezrat Hashem. Okay, fine. That's an important question. If not, you can still advise other people. Because people need advice. Okay? And when you're married and you're in it, that's probably the best place to get your advice. Okay, let's begin at the beginning. Let's point out some red flags. And again, I'm happy to stop. You have questions about anything I'm going to say. Let's start with number one. A red flag is, while you're dating, you see this man or woman, I'm going to say he most of the time, but this is not limited to men, is very controlling and possessive. Okay, let me define that for you. Right? While you're dating, they keep tabs on where you go. Oh, where are you going? Oh, who are you going with? Now you're dating. It could be early on in the dating process. But people who are controlling and possessive don't make a difference. They want to know where you are all the time. They feel threatened by the fact that you have an independent lifestyle outside of the relationship. Because it's all about me. But this is going to be a common trait that goes through everything in terms of serious red flags, right? And that is, many people, and I spoke about this 2 weeks ago, you know, I give a lot of classes online, as you know, and live. And I chose a topic 2 weeks ago, and it just exploded. The topic was how to spot a narcissist, right? And I thought I'd just speak about it. I give a Wednesday 12 p.m. shiur, and I get maybe, you know, online 40, 50 people, and then afterwards you get 300-400 people watching the class afterwards. This one, emails. I hit a raw nerve. I was like, wow. So I did a follow-up, how to handle a narcissist. What is a narcissist? What is that? In short, and it's very important you look out for this, because they can be very charming. Oh, they can be fantastic. They can make you feel so special. They could be a covert an overt. They're very, very critical all the time. You are inferior, and they are superior. And no one can be better than them. A lot of what we're going to discuss this evening is going to touch upon a narcissist. That's going to be the common theme. No one's better than them, no one's smarter, and they're not open to any form of understanding or advice or any form of personal, reflective growth. If you see that while you're dating, it's a big, big problem. There's nothing there. They don't come to class like this. But if they do, they're like, oh, I heard that. What does he know? You know, there's nothing there. It's just any information bounces off them. Doesn't penetrate. So they're very controlling and possessive. Now, normal people will want to spend time with you because you're fantastic. Who wouldn't? And normal people will want to be with you as much as possible, but they will not demand it. When you see them demanding that you spend time with me, and they're going to belittle you, and, this is very important, belittle your friends. Because one thing that abusive people want to do, again, this is a serious red flag, is they want to separate you from your friends, and if it's really bad, they want to separate you from your family. Okay? That's a problem. That's a problem. They may be frustrated. I mean, we can tell a lot of mother-in-law jokes. I'm the king of them. Make no mistake. But in the end, when you marry someone, you're marrying them and their parents. You realize that, right? Especially in this community. It's part of life, and that's okay. But you've got to watch out for this. Okay. Hi, welcome. Don't worry. Just relax. We're all good. Thanks for coming. No problem. We started early. 40 minutes late. You know. Number 2. The person, the guy or girl, has a Jekyll or Hyde personality. Do you know that reference, Jekyll and Hyde? No. Oh dear. Okay, basically, it was a book, and many movies were made about it many years ago, I guess. Jekyll and Hyde is basically, there was a character, and by day he was a regular doctor, and at night time he was an evil murderer, basically in short. Jekyll and Hyde. And there are people like that. People are extremely charming, and during the day, how are you? I can't wait to see you. And they're WhatsApping and they're texting you and they're calling. Everything's fantastic. And they're commenting, I like you so much, I give thumbs up, all the rest of it. And then you see, there's another side to them that just pops out. Okay? Most of the goodness is good, but then it's too good to be true. They're showering you with constant compliments, and it's overdoing it. They drown you. It's called in the industry, they love bomb you. Heard that expression before? It's a very good expression. And people get attracted. It feels good. All this attention, and they're sending you all this love. But I know it sounds crazy. They love bomb you to get you into their zone, and they got you. And once they have you, they can turn it around. Normal people will be good and true. They may occasionally misbehave, but in the end, there's a consistency of goodness that you see in them. Now, many people will be like, well, we're during the day, right? We're on a date, and 80% of the time he's really nice, and 20% of the time he's a complete creep. That 20% is going to be with you after you get married. It doesn't go away. We all get frustrated and have a bad side. You know, we have a shadow part to our personality. But this is serious. This could be a real problem. Because again, that small little thing that you see something, you know, they say on the subway, if you see something, say something, you know what I'm saying? It's very true in dating. This is the person you spend the rest of your life with. You know what I'm saying? So watch out for that as well. Number 3 is difficult because you could have certain personalities that are strong personalities. And you've got to be careful with this one. If I'm going too fast, tell me. But I've got a lot to download. Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of people, they show, like, while they're dating, the good part of them, and they never show you that 20% until you are engaged or married. So then what are you supposed to do if God forbid?
Very, very good question. Okay, so I've got so much to say on this. Right now, my oldest daughter's entered dating the shidduchim world. Now, I've been giving her dating advice for the past 20 years. Now I'm taking it seriously. Part of it is research. My wife and I spend a lot of time filtering and researching and making phone calls and speak to other people. There is a thing called a shmua. Things are out there. It's very unlikely this person, right, is going to be good to everyone and then evil to you. It's unlikely. It could be. That's number 1. So doing research is not a bad thing to do. Calling people up, having the rabbi call your friends, try to get a feeling of it. And if you hear stories, double click on them. Nothing wrong with that. Again, this person, that's number 1. Number 2 is, eventually it comes out. If you date properly, now this is not really a talk on dating per se, it's on red flags in dating, but if you date properly, they always show themselves. They can only keep it for so long. Have I heard of stories of people while they're engaged and suddenly they see past the personality they don't like? Yeah. I was meant to perform 2 weddings recently, both called off during the engagement period. Both. Okay? And I've changed. I really have. I used to be like, you'll get through it, it's going to be fine, everything's going to be good. And now I'm like, no, that's a serious problem. That is a serious problem. That needs to be looked into, or pull the plug. Yeah. Happy to say, I did a wedding a while ago, and the couple were going through problems, and he walked out, they got into a big fight, but that was wedding stress. And I said, go back, go speak to her, get on your knees, and beg her for forgiveness for losing your temper over invitations and family coming to the wedding. Oh, because once you get, by the way, I know I have a lot to say, I apologize. Preparing for a wedding, I don't care what you see in the movies, it's all fun, enjoyable, is difficult. Forget Corona. It's just so tough. It's money and family and food. And you go from this lovely relationship to parents involved and uncle who came in from, and aunt going, she's sitting in the draft and she's irritated and everyone's fighting. And everyone's like, oh, you sit me over, that's what you think of me? Right? If that's what you think of me, sit me next to this. Well, this is what I get? And the answer is, yeah, that's what you get, by the way. That's what, you know what I'm saying? And suddenly you get a lot, and suddenly the parents are involved, and this is so common. Just hear if you hear what I have to say right now, it was worth my mother having me. The parents argue with each other, but they can't do both on both sides. But they can't do that because, oh, I'm not nice. So they use the kids. This is so common. They really do. You know what I'm kidding? I mean, I do this all the time. This is common. Right? So like, they want to do that, you want to do this, and they get together, but they can't fight because they have to like, oh, come in, have some tea, have a cookie. As soon as they leave, they're like, these people, they did nothing for me. They're betting. She's wearing a dress, she's got that pocketbook, and she can't afford to give more. It's fake, you gave them China, you idiot. So my daughter gets his face, I'm like, what is Endy? Oh, it's fake Fendi. Oh, I see. These people don't know. So they fight through the kids. I'm joking, but I'm serious. A lot of these kids break up because the parents don't have the courage to talk directly to each other. And you know what? It's awkward. It's awkward turtle. It really is very, very awkward. I understand it. I'm not judging. You know, and I get it very, very much. Okay, so you should be able to look out for it. And if you see something, it's probably going to be there forever. Yeah? You have a question? You scratching yourself?
No, just scratching myself.
That's okay. You know, sometimes a good scratch is needed. Yeah. Hello.
How much of that person is like willing to change? How much of other like opinions are you supposed to listen to?
So, look, that's a very detailed. But the question was, let's say a person says they can change. How many people do you listen to? Who you ask is important. Some people give false information. Sometimes subconsciously, subconsciously, for whatever reason. If you keep hearing something, you need to look into it. And you have to figure out whether this is the right thing. Again, not everything is... I'll give you an example. I get a lot of calls, and my daughter gets calls as well from other people for references. So there's a particular boy who's in yeshiva, but he may go 2-3 days in his room. Is that something not to get married for? So this girl is dating a guy, and she's calling up, and I know that the guy sits in his room 2-3 days and doesn't leave his room. Is that depression? Right? Is he just tired? Is he having a stress? I mean, you have to look into that. That's a serious thing. You don't just, oh, he's fine, he'll get over it. Right? I mean, that's a red flag that needs to be looked into. Is it a red flag to break up? Not so quick. Hold your horses. Give it time. Figure out what's going on. Could be having a bad few days. Maybe this happens every month. That's a problem. Right? When you're married, he's got to do the shopping. Can't do that from his room. Actually, you can order online. But you get the idea, okay? Are we clear on this? Okay, great. Number 4 is, so what's it? Number 3, didn't finish that one. He's power hungry and manipulative. Now this is difficult, because some people are hungry to be successful in their learning, in their studies, in their money, in their business, right? We live in a business community over here. It's a big thing. But there's a difference between wanting to be successful and being power hungry. It's a difference. And it's a challenge as well. Okay? Added to this, and this is very important, please hear me. This is a red flag. You may not think it is, but it is. They have great interest in knowing how much money you make, how much you have, and how much money your parents have. I know you don't believe me, but that's a red flag. That's no one's business. Later in the relationship, When you decide you want to start getting serious and building a life together, maybe how much do you make? I mean, we all want to know this, right? Everyone wants to know how much everyone else makes. We're obsessed with this, right? Celebrities, how much they make. My neighbor, he's got that car, how do they afford it? We all do it. That house, how do they afford the house? Everyone says that. It doesn't make sense to me. And he's sitting with a pen and paper trying to figure out, if he does that for a living, right, and the economy's down, and he must be on the mafia. I mean, it doesn't make sense, you know what I mean? He's got to be in the Persian mafia there. It's the only thing that makes sense to me. Friends, I hear you, but it's unhealthy behavior. It's a red flag. It could be just he's not sensitive to this stuff, but it could be a problem. It could be this person is money hungry and they're expecting, oh, by the way, as a side point, I know many girls think, I want to marry a rich guy. Okay, I'm going to give you my opinion. This is my opinion. Okay? And many boys want a rich girl. I have a friend of mine who's divorced. He's divorced with 3 kids. He says, I just want to find a rich woman who can take care of me. I'm not kidding you. That's exactly what he says to me. I'm like, number 1, how do you know how much money she has? Number 2, who says you're going to get it? She's got kids. All right, maybe she won't. Who says? I know many people who can barely make it, who try to help their kids and scrimp and save to help their kids. I know people who have so much money, you do too, right? And don't get a grush, not a penny, not a shekel out of them. And by the way, when you marry a rich guy, right, he's young. It's highly unlikely in his mid-20s he's made that money. It's family money. And who says his family wants you to have it? Sort of burst your bubble. I know you want a rich and standard of living. And by the way, I've met people, good friends of mine, people actually I'm counseling, who she married a guy, wealthy family, she didn't get anything, and he was a spoiled brat. You know, when you grow up in a very, very rich family, I don't know if you did or not, I'm not asking, it's not my business, but many people, they get whatever they want. And when they get married, you know, my father always did this to me, why couldn't you do this? We went on vacation over there, why can't I get that as well? You don't want to marry too rich. I know it sounds crazy. I was like, you're talking about? I want to marry, you know, Jeff Bezos. He feels Jewish. You know, Jeff Bezos Goldstein. That's what I want to marry, right? I want Elon Musk. Whatever it is, right? That's what I want. But the answer is, you don't want to play with that. Because here's the expression. If you just hear these words, just put it somewhere in your cerebellums. Here's the expression. Golden handcuffs. You heard that expression before? Yeah. When you marry someone, it comes with golden handcuffs. Assuming they're going to give it to you. Oh, I see, so you come to us for Rosh Hashanah. No, but I promise that. But we're giving you money. You come to us, what if they give you? What if they give you nothing? You come to us for Rosh Hashanah. We're the ones giving you $5,000 a month. You come to me. Tell them they don't. You want to be dealing with that? You don't want to be dealing with that. All right? They come to Pesach with us. We go on vacation, but I want to go and spend time. No. Come with us. We're paying for you. We always pay for everything. Right? You've got to watch out for this. I'm not saying that rich people and children of rich people cannot be good and accepting and tasteful. But it comes with a... Okay. Narcissists are like this, by the way. Narcissists, people who are full-blown, who you should not marry, are the people who are constantly obsessed and talk about it and are obsessed, this is important, are obsessed, not just criticizing you and your family, but are obsessed with outside influence. Nice house, nice car. Everyone likes a nice house. Everyone likes a nice car. Everyone likes a nice clothes. Nothing wrong with that. It's good. It's fine. It's good. But they're obsessed with it. And they're not willing to mix with people who don't have it. Watch out for that. Right? They'll give a lot more kavod to the people who've got a lot. Right? Which we do naturally. Right? If a rich person walks in, we automatically, that's okay. It's understandable. But they're nothing to people who are like, nah, that's a problem. That's a big red flag. That's a classic narcissistic behavior pattern. Right? They are obsessed with outward appearances and possessions. And that's where they find their chashivut. Number 4, they can't empathize. Normal people may sometimes lack sensitivity, but they're going to feel for other people. They feel for their plight. It makes them feel bad, you know? Some people aren't like that. All of you are. But some people, they just don't feel that. They just cannot empathize. They literally laugh at people. And they find it funny when people are in very, very bad situations. Or they'll be like, they caused that themselves. I don't feel sorry for them. This is a terrible midah. Terrible. Very, very telling. Right? They claim their hurtful remark was in jest. I'm joking. What did I say? Now sometimes it's funny, but sometimes it ain't funny. Right? There's something there that could be on the spectrum. And everyone thinks the spectrum is like this. There's a whole spectrum. And some people are living on that spectrum. Midot. I know I was looking for a good-looking person. I've never met someone say, Rabbi, set me up with an ugly guy. They don't, right? Rabbi said, I want a guy, I want him ugly. Just the ugliest. I want him 2'4". I want his girth bigger than his height. They don't ask me. They don't say that. What do they always say? They say, listen, I know I'm fussy and I'm looking for perfection. I'm like, you all are. Right? I understand. Although, to be honest with you, I see some guys and some girls and vice versa. I'm like, wow, I never saw that coming together. You see that? I look at these only simplest. I'm like, wow. That guy's got personality, because I understand, and I can say it myself, right? People stand in my chuppah like, why is she marrying him? And I'm like, I don't know, but she's studying. Okay. Number 5, compulsive and makes unrealistic demands. Compulsive behavior. It could be a sign of addiction, and maybe it's not. They may obsess over what's external, criticizing your appearance, fixating on one part of your character, and just pushing it, and you should do this. I know it sounds crazy. I know many men who are pushing their wives to get plastic surgery. Okay? Not a conversation I want to hear and be around for. If a woman wants to do that, she feels the need for that, that's fine. I'm not judging. Absolutely understandable. But if he's pushing you for it and he's critical, I know women. Think of one case. Think of a celebrity too, who she was interviewed. Actually, she died unfortunately. Who ended up getting a serious eating disorder just because the guy she was dating started making comments about her weight. I know it sounds crazy. There's probably other stuff there beforehand, but that triggered it. Okay? Unrealistic demands and compulsive behavior. Right? Fixating on a negative part of your character and going on and on and on. Okay, people are arrogant, self-centered, and intolerant. Okay, they like to make fun. We kind of mentioned this already, but it goes further. Make fun, deriding, and constantly belittling other people. Okay? And people who hate to lose an argument. That's a problem. No one likes to lose an argument. But at some point you're like, you know what? I'm over it. I was wrong and you won. See, for a narcissist, when they argue, they're not trying to get over a point. When they argue, they're trying to win a contest. Look out for that and be very serious. They're not looking because, okay, I disagree. I think we should do that. I think we should do that. For them, it's a whole different game. And you know what game they love to play? We like to play games. Like Scrabble, chess, right? Something like that. We like to play games. They have a game, and it's called Gotcha. Gotcha! Do you know what that is? I'll tell you. Sounds funny, right? That's the one when you get into an argument with them and they start to make you feel low, make you feel inferior, because that's what they want to do. They always want to make you feel inferior because they're superior. So rather than picking themselves up, they put you down. But what they do is, this guy or girl, I've met women like this, believe me, you get into an argument and then you eventually break. Hold on. At some point, I'm going to break. You start getting angry and they feed off that. Makes it, I know it sounds crazy, twisted, but it is. And they're like, gotcha, you see, I told you were unreasonable. I told you not to control yourself. The problem's not with me. The problem's with you. Which just makes it worse, right? Most annoying thing. So they want to get a reaction out of you. You know people like that. You've all met people like this. You met people in your family. I had a girl who today Facebooked me after mentioning this in the class and said, this is she goes, I know, you summarized my mother. This is exactly my mother. My mother is constantly trying to get me. And what I do, she's like, you see, the problem's with you, not with me. I told you. I spent a whole life, and now she actually gets it. How to deal with it, something else. Okay, next. They are very, it sounds depressing, this talk. I feel bad about this. Most people do not like this, just to be very clear. This is a talk of red flags, right? There's also a lot of green flags that you should go ahead with relationships. You're like, whoop, sounds like me, I'm never getting married. This is not most people. And by the way, here's another thing I hear a lot. People say, you know what? He's got faults, she's got faults, but someone's got to marry them. People actually think like this. You know what I say to them? You're right. It doesn't have to be you, though. So what? You're crazy? It's like people get into accidents. Doesn't mean you have to get into an accident just to like show the statistics are right. You're a bit crazy. Okay, this is the way it is. Okay. What are we up to? Paranoid. Paranoia is a big thing, right? So what's going on? Did I miss something out? Did I jump? No.
Go on.
Right, I'm going
Yeah,
where I am now. By the way, I'm not used to this, by the way. These are real people. I think I'm talking to a screen right now. Can I just mute some of you to see what happens? Okay, fine. They're paranoid, right? What's going on? What did that person say about me? And what do they think about me? And by the way, the antidote to dealing with people like this, who are your husband, not your boyfriend or girlfriend, because you shouldn't be with them most likely, but is to this is very important. And this is the key defense, if you're dealing with this in your family or friends or boss or employee, whatever, is to have trust in yourself. The way to deal with narcissists, and we'll pick up on narcissistic tendencies over here, is to have self-trust. Trust yourself. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. If not, just put it in your heads for later. Trust yourself. Remember, you are good, you are worthy, and you do not deserve this. Many people deal with such individuals and they think, you know what? I must deserve this. I deserve this bad character. Right? I mean, I'm in a relationship. This is happening. Therefore, it's not true. No one deserves to be dealing with this on a serious level. Okay? Again, while you're dating, trying to figure out whether this person has this kind of stuff, these red flags. Normal people may occasionally wonder if someone is against them or speaking against them. That's normal. What do they say about me? You know, we live in a generation, you realize this, of chronic and debilitating low self-esteem. You realize that's the disease of our generation. Chronic, it's big, debilitating, it's breaking us down. Low self-esteem. That's men and that's women. And both will act differently in order to combat it. Okay? But that's the problem. So when a person with chronic and debilitating low self-esteem, which is everyone, gets together with a narcissist, boom. That's a shidduch made in Gehenna. I mean, no, I'm finished. I mean, this guy, he's very halfway there. You've done half the job for him. Believe in yourself. Trust in yourself. And if they lie about you to other people, which is very common, you have to believe that people know who you are, because most people know who you are. They know you're a good person, and the truth will get out. So don't freak out over it. So general paranoia is understandable. But if someone's speaking Lashon Hara about you, the thing is not to speak about them, is to say, you know what? Hashem's in charge, the truth comes out, and the truth always comes out eventually. Okay? Next, and this is also tricky. They lie and they deceive. Okay, now we all sometimes lie, and Judaism lying is not what you think it is. Right? You ever had the expression of white lie? It's true. In order to improve shalom between people, there are times when you're allowed to lie. But it's a lie. What's the rabbi saying you can lie? Right? Mishachat tirachad, you just stay away from a lie. And the answer is because sometimes a lie can bring people together. Right? When my wife says to me, does this dress make me look fat? And she's 9 months pregnant. And it's not, you've got to think how to answer that. By the way, guys, listen very carefully. I'm giving you gold. I'm talking to the men right now. When you get that question, and you will, trust me, do I look fat in this? There is only one answer. You're perfect the way you are. Trust me. I know the women are hearing this, and it still works. You're perfect just the way you are. Don't discuss it. And when it comes to seriously to children, this is a big problem, especially in today's age when they're seeing stuff on social media, Instagram, everyone's beautiful and thin and photoshopped and just like too perfect and disgusting. And they say, I want to be thin. Don't use the word thin. Don't use the word skinny. Say healthy eating options. We need to find healthy eating options. It's not about the person. It's about what they're eating. Okay, it's a side point, but it's an important one. Okay, this is feeding, excuse the pun, the chronic low self-esteem that we're getting, and women are getting it worse than men. Women are getting it worse than men. It's good to be healthy and exercising and healthy, but let's focus on the eating and not the person. Okay, so lying and deceiving. Now we all sometimes lie, and we lie for good reason sometimes because we don't want, but sometimes it becomes deception, and deception is not a good thing. And you'll catch them out on it, and you're like, they just want to, it's a problem. Because if they're lying about that person, eventually, they're going to lie about you. And they're going to lie to you. And there are people who are habitual liars. And many times they're covering up some pretty nasty stuff. Right? You'll pick up on it. And you'll think, they're just lying about that, not about me. Whatever they do to other people, they're going to do to you. I'll say that again. Whatever the person you're dating is doing to other people, they're doing to you. You asked a question before, Shane, a beautiful question. You said, how can I tell? You go to the parking lot. Look out for them. When you date, right? First of all, group dating is not dating. Right? It does not help. I know you have your group of friends and we're dating. It's not dating. It's when it's just you and him, or you and her, and you go out and you spend time together. It's not when everything's perfect. It's when the waitress comes and spills a little bit of wine on her dress. Or when you go to the parking lot to pick up your car and you give your ticket in, and the person comes out who gives their ticket and they get their car first. How do they react to that? That is going to tell you a lot more than who paid for dinner. Right? That's going to do a lot more. Okay? When you see them in those stress situations, when you're in traffic, and you see the way they act, however they talk about other people, they're going to talk about you that way as well. Now, I'm not saying it's a breakup, but you're getting an indication of who this person is. And La Leinu should not happen to anyone here, Chas v'Chalila, or myself. People that get divorced, always ask them, did you see this negative thing while you were dating? 99% of my experiences, they always saw it. They didn't take it seriously. Now again, that doesn't mean, what? You were rude to the waitress. I'm out of here. Right? That's already... But how they treat people lower down on the totem pole is how they're going to treat you. Because at some point, you're going to be lower down on the totem pole. They'll be making more money than you, or being more knowledgeable than you, or whatever it is. Okay? So that's really, really important. Okay, the next is obvious, but physical and aggressive abuse is a big one. Watch out for that. Okay? There is no scenario, none whatsoever, where they can be physical with you in any way, in an aggressive manner. And when I say that, I don't mean a slap in the face, that's obvious. Grabbing hands is a very common one. You see people do that? It may have happened to you. And they'll pull your hand like that. That's a problem. That's sorry, my hand, I deserved it. No, you didn't. You said something they didn't like. Right? You did something they didn't like. They've not given them permission to grab you. That is a siman. That's a big problem. And verbal aggressiveness, right? Which is more common. Right? And being mean and nasty towards you. If they have a history of violence. I'm being recorded, I have to be careful because I want to keep everyone anonymous. But, okay, we'll leave that. If they have a tendency towards depression, many times, many people, and that could mean trying to find out if they're on medication. Now, I'm not saying first of all medication they can't get married. They can be very good husbands or wives, but it has to be known. You cannot keep that a secret. At some point, they need to find out. Now, let me be very clear about this. It may sound funny, but not every bad thing you've ever done, and people think this, needs to be told to your boyfriend, girlfriend, fiance, or husband and wife. People think, well, now we're getting married, I want to tell about every relationship I've been in. Take a seat. Are you comfortable? Tell off your phone, we're going to be here a while. And they come out and say, no. You don't need to tell everyone every sordid thing you've been in. You don't have to. That was the past. You feel bad about it? Good. Don't do it again. Right? Not every past relationship, every scenario, every girl, every guy you did something to, like, but I want to be truthful. Okay. So don't lie. But don't tell all the truth. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to divulge every, and people think, well, I should. I mean, there's things which I've not told my wife. There's nothing beneficial. And she knows everything, so at this point she can read my mind. Right? You become like telepathic after like 5 years. God. I'm like, look at something, she's like, I know you're thinking. I'm like, what? She goes, I know. Goes, you're right, mate. Okay. So, however, a history of depression needs to come up. Not day one. Nice to meet you. I had 2 years of depression in school. You go, pace yourself. Save that for the dessert, right? Not the entree. Save that maybe, give it a second. But at some point, that information needs to come out. It does. The way you do it, how you give it to many people, jokes like when they want to share things which are big and important, which need to be shared. Some things need to be shared. Some things are big enough, they need to be shared. If I wasn't being recorded, I'll tell you more detailed in terms of this, but I can't see being recorded. However, something's better. You don't say, okay, sit down. I have something to tell you, right? You don't need to do that. You should tell them. People like make it a whole big production, right? Let's discuss this. I think really, this is part of my life. I went through depression a couple of years. I had an eating, I had this, whatever it should be. Some things which are not about an event, but about you as a person you're still dealing with, right? That's something that needs to be brought. Okay, 1 second, let me just engage something in my head. Got it. I was dealing with a guy who had a certain thing that he was into when it came to his physicality, right, his sexuality. And it was a big question whether he should share this with his future wife. And I spoke to a lot of professionals, and everyone said that he needs to tell her, because that's going to impact their relationship later on. Okay? Something he's dealing with. Was he born like this? Did he obtain it? Nature, nurture? What's the difference? It's still there. And I said that this is something which you need to tell. He didn't want to, but it was the right thing. They got married, they're very happy. Very happy. Substance abuse is something else, right? At some point, in most cases, having history of substance, especially if he's proud of it. If this guy's like, yeah, I've been drinking, you know what I'm saying? And I saw so much weed in school. I'm like, okay, when you're 18, 19, I hear it. But being proud of it, you know what I'm saying? No, people are like, yeah, I tried that. Yeah, it was pretty good. I tried that, never again. That's a normal person, okay? And that's understandable. People try things, right? But if they're proud of it, and it's like a badge of honor, even if they're I can think of some great people. Actually, my main advisor is someone who is a recovering alcoholic. And the guy is a spiritual master. I mentioned him before. And he's a great individual, right? He's not someone who boasts about it. He'll be like, oh, those are crazy. You know what I'm saying? But they're boasting about it still. That's a red flag. That is something to watch out for. And finally, and I'll take any questions after this, if they witnessed or suffered parental abuse, deprivation, or neglect. Now, once again, I'm not saying that everyone who comes from a divorced family, an abusive family, a neglectful family is someone you can't marry. But you need to be aware of it and understand, because that stuff comes back. When? I've not seen any research on this, but I'm sure there is some. But anecdotally, I found that many women, when they get pregnant and have their first child, a lot of stuff comes out. It's an emotional time, as it is, right? I don't know if it's a physiological trauma of giving birth, which it is, or where they start to think about life in a certain way. But I found that at some point, it's gonna come out again. It needs to be spoken about. Now, once again, it could be they're like, you know what, my parents are very abusive, they're not very, very nice, and I went through absolute, hell with them, but that's who they are, and I understand, I'm over it. And people who are, here's the key, listen well, still angry with their parents. Like angry, not like, oh God, I wish I would. Like, no parents are perfect. Whatever I said I would never do to my kids, I do to my kids. Whatever you think to yourself, oh, when I get married and have kids, I'm never going to do that. Yes, you will. My mother used to drive me to school, right, with the hair and rollers, with a dressing gown on, I'm like, oh, you're embarrassing me. Just drop me off like 3 blocks away from the school. No! I have to take my son to the door, and I have to walk him in wearing a chaluk, right, wearing a dressing gown. Of course. I'm like, oh, please, my friends are going to laugh at me. Don't do it to me, right? Me now, I'm in my shorts, t-shirt, because it's fun. I don't have any pleasures in life. Embarrassing my kids and annoying them is one of the few pleasures you have left. Whatever the parents did to them, whatever parents did, you're going to do again. So it's worth knowing and being aware of. Again, I know people come from very, very neglectful, and I know families come from the most amazing. I saw this with my old friend today. We know someone came from the most amazing, beautiful family, and the kids are complete screw-ups. I don't know why. We're trying to figure it out. I don't know why. And I'm trying to figure it out. Right? None of them got married. Something's off. Right? I couldn't figure it out. We were on the phone today like half an hour trying to figure out why this person came from the most nicest parents, and then Hashem decides. I don't know what to tell you. Okay? I don't want to worry or anything. Right? Seeing a good family, as you know, especially in this community, it's really important. Because I'm going to state what we could say in English, the bleeding obvious. You don't just marry the people, you marry their parents as well. Okay? That is who you're coming together with. Okay, I think that's like 16, 17 points. I have so much more, but I want to stop for questions or thoughts. And if you have none, you can email me, WhatsApp me. Again, I don't have a social life. You can contact me anytime. But if you have any questions now, I'll be happy to hear. Hi. Is that a question or a strength?
Yeah.
Hi.
What's a trait that we should look for?
I couldn't hear that.
Or some traits you should like.
Oh, so you should look for.
Yeah.
The opposite of everything over here. I'm not being facetious. Kind people who are caring and giving. I have so many stories for you. I know a guy, this is the story, got engaged to a girl. It's a true story. And they spent Shabbat together, which by the way is important. You want to see them on Shabbat the weekend, see how they socialize with other people. And she was staying he stayed home, and he put her by a friend's house. The friend had a baby. The baby started crying in the middle of the night. Okay? I woke up with the entire house. It happens, you can't control babies. Okay? She opened the door a little bit. She says, could you please tell the baby to shut up? She came out. The mother of the house heard that, right? And her behavior was off a little bit as well. It's a true story. And she told the guy, which was the right thing to do. If it was your child, you would want them to know. And he ignored it, got married. Terrible. It was done within 2-3 years. And by the way, you know, when a marriage ends, when it ends at 5 years, it was done by year 2. It just takes age of the person to realize and get through the courage or the rest to get to that point. You realize that, right? It takes a long time to get there. I'm just saying we try to avoid. You're looking for kind, caring people. I'm telling you, looks are important, but that's obvious. You're not going to marry an ugly person, right? I see a tall, good, handsome man, right? You need to marry someone you're attracted to, but you need someone who is a good, kind person. It sounds so simple, it sounds so obvious, it sounds so stupid and cliched. I'm telling you it's true. It's the only thing that's going to last, because eventually, the looks are going to go. Yours and hers. It's all going to go south, brother. It's only going down, right? Even the best plastic surgeons, they can't fix it, yeah? If people are mean and nasty, right, but good looking and successful, don't fall for it. You're going to be living with this person, please. Nice and sweet, right? And there's always going to be a better looking person out there. And there's always going to be a smarter person. Right? I always say to people, tell me the truth. Is your wife or husband a good looking person? The answer is no. It's not true. Right? You can't say yes. It would be a lie. There's always someone better looking. Celebrities out there. Is your husband or wife, are they the smartest? No. Right? There's scientists, college professors who are geniuses, smarter than me. But you know what? My husband or wife has the most chen, most grace, most charm. That every married couple needs to be able to say. No one can beat her chen. It's just there. How to define it? I don't know how to define chen. Grace doesn't make sense. It doesn't sound so good. So everything you heard today, opposite it, boom, go for it. And don't take too long. That's another discussion, another disease I'm dealing with. this endless 5-year dating, 3-year dating, 2-year. Oh God, shoot these people. Anybody else?
If no one has a question, I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know how to formulate it, but you said before that some people get into bad relationships and they don't deserve it. So the people who it was supposed to happen and they ended up in that bad relationship, what advice do you have to give them that they ended up in that relationship for some reason, but they're not supposed to
Very,
stay
very
in that
good.
relationship?
That's a very, very deep question, by the way. The question is, some people end up in a bad, abusive relationship, and then they get out of it, I'm assuming, and they're like, well, what's that? So there's two possibilities. One possibility is bad luck. Right?
It wasn't supposed to happen like that?
Okay. So if you put Hashem in the picture, it was always meant to happen. But the question is it their problem or my problem? Let me explain. You're in an abusive relationship with a bad person, you're dating, he sucked you in, and you got out of it. There's two possibilities. One possibility is, that's the mazal, you need to go through that for whatever reason, and assuming the reason is good. We're taking that as a given. But maybe it's a problem with him. But there's another possibility. You ready for this? Some girls always say this to me, or guys say this to me. I keep dating abusive, terrible people. No. The problem's not with all these people. The only commonality with all of them is you. That means you, but some people, that sounds crazy. Some people like to find bad people. Right? They're looking for Jordan Peterson, who's the master of this, by the way, you should look him up online, says many women like to date, and the pirate, the werewolf, the vampire. What is this obsession with the vampire? And vampires are great, we're discussing people that suck your blood out. Now they're good looking, they're very white, with the red eyes, and I like that. What the heck are you having a vampire? Bite your neck for you idiot. You're crazy. There's certain women who look for these bad traits. They look for the billionaire. What's that? That series, right? The billionaire is going to beat me up. What are you going to beat you up for? Are you crazy? What, you're looking for a person going to beat the heck out of you? You're out of your mind? Right? He lists a few more, right? Of these bad traits. You could be like, I keep finding myself a bad person. You chose it. You've got to make sure you're not choosing those people, not you. But people choose these people. So what do they do? Who, in their right mind, would choose to date a person who's going to treat me like garbage? The problem's not with them, it's with you. You're the commonality to this. These people aren't conspiring. Okay, whose turn is it to annoy her? Right, I'll date her on Wednesday, and you date her 3 months' time, and we're going to destroy her. You've got to watch out for that. That's a real problem. Right, looking for the vampire, werewolf, billionaire, mean person. It's a big, big problem, yeah. So make sure, or it could be you went through every experience you go through, but don't choose it. When we don't test ourselves, we say every morning, Lo nisayon, the lo b'zayon. It's a very important words. I don't want to be tested, and I don't want to be shamed. What are you talking about? The testing is good. The rabbi told me Avraham Avinu was tested 10 times. He didn't ask for them. David HaMelech said, test me. And he failed with Bathsheba. He made a mistake. Well, you can say he didn't sin, but he made a mistake. Never say test me. Don't go into a relationship like, you know what, I deserve this. No, you don't. We all deserve to have calm, soothing, tranquil, serene, good lives. Hashem will throw in the hurdles along the way. And by the way, my wife went to, sorry, I keep going, but my wife went to a rabbi while we were dating. Or we got married, we were advising people already. And we kept getting questions. These people say that the relationship is like up, down, up, down, up, down. How do you know this? She's like, you know what? There could be big peaks and lows, or there could be bumpy. Right? All relationships are bumpy. But if it's high, and low, bad. That's a relationship. You know what I'm talking about? It's like a roller coaster. They're fun, but when you get off, you want to vomit. Right? It needs to be a calm little ride, which gets a little bit sickening along the way. Right? But it's just amazing! Right? Absolutely terrible. That extreme is not good. You do not want a relationship where when it's good, it's amazing. When it's bad, you know, you want it. Guys, you've been amazing. Thanks for joining us. Oh!
We want to say Arby now.
Wow. I just finished.
Thank you.